William in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Wow, we're getting so many Canadian callers today listening on the web. Hi, William.
Thank you. Thank you for taking my call.
My pleasure.
I had a question for you. It's involving an incident, and I don't want to necessarily identify anyone, but just to keep the question broad in general. We are having an event in Calgary at some time in the future, and they're inviting a famous preacher, speaker, to attend an event that has left the church. He, after 30 years in ministry, had decided that he is no longer a believer, and he identifies as an atheist. I have been very troubled by this particular circumstance. It's being held inside a local church, and the church is inviting this person to speak. Under 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 11 to 13, it describes how Paul admonishes Christian believers not to associate with others, it calls brothers, that, for example, in this case, I would describe as an idolater. Do you think that churches should be inviting non-Christians to come into our churches and participate in church events?
Well, I don't think that they ought to be given a platform to communicate their perversions, but let's say there's a debate where both sides of the issue are exposed to the audience so people can see the bankruptcy of a particular point of view. I don't see something wrong with that. But when you give someone who is a non-believer a platform in the church, I think that is a violation of what John is specifically telling us we ought not to do in his epistles. And in this case, if you have someone that was once a Christian pastor who's renounced the faith, and now you have that person who is a secular humanist given a platform to communicate within the, I think this is a really, really bad idea.
I also read, like in Jude, verses 17 to 20, it says that in the last times there will be scoffers who follow their own ungodly desires. These are people who divide you, who follow mere natural instincts and do not have the Spirit. But you, dear friends, build yourselves up in the most holy faith in praying in the Spirit. I think that churches should be inviting speakers that lift us up, and I don't know that a non-Christian can lift up the body, even with a motivational message.
Yeah, again, the principle's inviolate. We cannot give someone who is not a believer a platform in the church to communicate their poisonous dogmas to the believer. I mean, if there's a debate where both sides of the issue are heard, so it edifies the believer, I think, and equips the believer, then it has a place, but not as you have delineated.